Last week, I sat together with 28 experienced tech leaders, and we were discussing what is the number one challenge or the most important topic that keeps them from evolving as a leader in tech in their career and as well as personally. And there was a clear conclusion that came out of this, and that's why I wanted to share this video and I had the urge to actually record this video. So the conclusion was mental exhaustion. And mental exhaustion is something that is really unique to this setup here in which we're working in tech. So myself as a tech leader, I started working back in the mid 90s as a computer scientist, moved to the Silicon Valley, and I've since then in this environment, so I know what I'm talking about. There is, and it's probably very similar to you as you're watching this video, there is lots of deadlines, there is new priorities coming up all the time, and that builds up a lot of pressure. It's also that you have to keep up with all this information, constantly new information in tech that you have to absorb. And so you reach a point when you feel that things are getting slower, you feel more and more exhausted. And this is when you may reach a plateau, so to speak, where you do more, but it's not showing any effect anymore. So you're getting in this stuck and unproductive, stressful state. And it even gets into your personal life. Like when you come home in the evening, you're still talking with your family, but you're still at work. So the root cause of this that I have identified in the past 10 years is what I refer to as the monkey mind. And the monkey mind is this illustrative idea, is this monkey bouncing back and forth, representing your mind, which is not tamed in an untamed state. And it causes you a lot of problems. Let's look into them. So the first one is there is an excessive amount of thoughts per day, more than 50,000, in fact, what science has shown us. And what's worse is that most of them are actually negative, and you keep repeating 90% of those thoughts day over day. So they're like stuck. And if the number of negative thoughts is increasing all the time, you get into this constant worrying in this kind of negative state, and it actually starts a negative feedback loop. And so that is causing, it is a major source of emotional stress. What happens then is, of course, there's the busy mind. You can't stop thinking. Even at night, you wake up in the middle of the night, keep thinking, and the mind is going on and on in this busy state. And if you want to get productive, sit down to get some stuff done, there's no focus because you're always with all these thoughts going on. It gets you back in this really distracted, unproductive state. So in that meeting I mentioned with the tech leaders, we investigated and I had asked them what is basically the state of what their monkey mind is currently in. And you can clearly see that these points, what I mentioned of worrying and negativity, the busy mind was really the major ones. And so in my own journey as a tech leader, I have experienced the same thing. I had a very steep career back in the Silicon Valley, accelerated as an engineer, as a top innovator, where I was really moving fast. I moved into tech leadership, but I had reached that point of mental exhaustions after about maybe 10 years, roughly. And you could see that it's not something happens from today to tomorrow. It gradually creeps in. And once it's there, it gets worse and worse because of the monkey mind aspects that I mentioned before. And then all of a sudden, I was in this downward spiral. And so I figured I have to do something. I started exploring mindfulness. That was a major game changer at that point. And it became clear to me what you have to do is, right, train your mind. That was the solution. It's not that difficult when you think about it. The mind is really your source where all this comes from. And the monkey mind is the state what you're usually in if the mind is not trained. So I started in this journey and I worked then with a variety of experts in this field. And I developed a systematic approach, which I refer to now as mind management, also combined with biohacking, where I can now really, as I moved here then to Berlin in 2016, joining Zalando, where I would build up large organizations of up to 400 employees, and I could keep them in a really hyper productive state. Still, there was the same turmoil going on around around me as before, but my mind was now in a different state. And I could just get more stuff done with less effort and also spend more time in a state of flow and work on stuff that matters. In addition, you could develop and cultivate this calm and relaxed mindset. Even if the world is falling apart, you're still calm and centered in yourself. But it also means you're very fully alert and focused. So that's another quality of this. And for me, most importantly, I was able then to develop this capability of mental flexibility, basically switching back and forth between different states of mind. Like in the evening, coming home from work, being there with my family, right? Connecting with them and have quality time. So all that good stuff. And so I worked over the years with many experts in the area of neuroscience, mindfulness, functional medicine, and so on. And I figured there has to be a way that what took me 10 years to get this done and help you to achieve the same state in a much shorter amount of time. And this was exactly when I came up with a training program that is based on a systematic data-driven approach. And now I invite you actually to a possibility, an option, where we would sit together in a short exploratory discovery call. And we would actually, in that call, explore what aspects of the monkey mind are blocking you currently most. So identify that. And then also identify whether the program that I've developed could be an option for you. It might be, or it might be not. But figuring that out, you achieve clarity. And in a positive case, you would then actually have one option on how you can solve and tackle and tame eventually your monkey mind. The good news is it's doable. I did it, so you can do the same thing. And therefore, I encourage you just to take action now and schedule that call, and looking forward to seeing you there.